Let's get into some shite. Hi, folks. Welcome to Apocalyptic. I am Rick. I will be doing apocalyptic things for the next few minutes. I have to apologize. My schedule's going to be a little bit off for the next couple weeks. I'm going to really try to get the shows on the proper dates, but it's going to be kind of difficult. I'm doing some projects these next couple weeks that are just going to kill me. So I'm going to try to work them in. I think the solution is to try to record. I don't like recording the shows too early. I don't know why. I could, but there's something about just kind of the immediacy of doing the recording. Like it comes out today. I want to record today in case something, who knows, something big can happen and I need to comment on it. But I just like that kind of instantaneous thing where it's almost live. It's not live, but it's almost live. So I think maybe the solution is to try to do a few of them a little bit early. So I'll try to do that so they come out on the proper days, and there'll be no confusion. Because I had the flu for a while, and then from the flu, and I'll be honest, I'm almost 2.5 weeks, and I still feel it, man. It just took energy away from me. Really, I don't know. Is that an age thing? As you get older, you just those kind of things last longer. I don't know. I just feel like it leached a lot of energy, and I'm trying to get it back. I need some vitamins. I need some vitality, some B shots or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still surviving, and so I'm also moving out of my studio in my gallery, and I'm setting up a studio again in my home, and I'm trying to move those back and forth, and just so much stuff. And the last 2 weeks, I was preparing for changes in the gallery, which was really crazy. Fortunately, that's kind of calmed down just a little bit. So there we go. Let's talk really quick. No, I'm not even going to say this yet. We'll do this in a few minutes, but I do want to say this is kind of weird. This is a weird thing. I don't really understand what's going on. I was talking about the whole flu thing, but this doesn't have anything to do with the flu thing, but it might have to. Well, let me just say this. Recently, I decided sometimes I'll take lemon water to work or just carry it around. I've got a big water thing, and you know how it is. Sometimes the water, you just don't want plain water. So you put something in it, and sometimes I'll put a little bit of lemon juice in it. It's one of my favorite things. I'll do that or vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar in it too. Sometimes that's a little gross, but the lemon water is always pretty good. And so I did that the other day, and it tasted like soap. It tasted like soap was in my water bottle. I couldn't figure that out. I was like, what is that? That's nasty. So I thought I must have just, when I was rinsing out my water bottle, I didn't rinse it out well or something. So I took it and I rinsed it out, fixed it, and did a whole new thing. Still soap. Tastes like soap water. So at that point I thought, well, maybe the lemon stuff, because I got a little bottle of lemon juice I'll pour in. I was like, maybe that has gone bad. Maybe it's got rancid or something. So I took a little bit, put it on my tongue, tasted fine. It's okay. And so just to make sure, I got a brand new thing of lemon juice to put in. I even got some lemons, actual lemons, and I squeezed the juice in there. Tasted the lemons, tasted fine. Squeezed the juice in. It was worse. Soap, tastes like soap. I don't know what's happened. Something's happened to where I can't drink water with a little bit of lemon in it now. So the first thing I did, I went to the internet. Because, that's your doctor now. And I was like, what? I typed in, why does my lemon water taste like soap? And I found out a lot of people asking the same question. They got water with lemon in it, tastes like soap. Nobody gave good answers, though. Nobody understood what they were saying. So many people are just saying the same thing I said. Maybe you didn't wash out your water bottle well. That's not the case. Somebody else said, well, you must have drank it right after you brushed your teeth because, lemons taste horrible right after you brush your teeth. If you don't know, try it. But it wasn't that. So nobody understood. And then I found a page where all these people were reporting how weird certain foods taste after they got COVID. So I've had COVID twice. This might be the first time I've had lemon water after COVID. So now I'm thinking it's COVID. COVID changed my taste to where I can't have lemons in water anymore. Straight lemon tastes fine. I had a lemon cocktail last night. Great. It was fantastic. I can eat lemon, put a lemon in my mouth. I can put lemon juice straight, taste it, tastes fine. As soon as I dilute it in water, it tastes like soap. That's crazy. I don't know. That's all I can think of. It must be COVID. COVID changing everybody's taste. There are people saying they can't have coffee and toast anymore. Somebody said that tastes like manure to them, like a field of manure. And it's just like people are listing all these things that once they could eat and now they can't eat it anymore from COVID. COVID stole that. So I can't have lemon water anymore. Well, it did say that maybe in about 10 months or so, your taste might come back. So we'll check on it. I don't know. I don't like it because I love lemon water. But lemon drink doesn't have the same problem. So I don't know what's going on. I kind of stretch it out just a little bit. I'm off coffee for a while. That's not cool. But I had to do it because when I had the flu and I was resting and I couldn't make coffee for 3 days, I got this intense headache, really bad headache where I was coming off coffee. And I've done that before, come off coffee and get these just migraine headaches. And I just started thinking, if that is what my body goes through for me to get off coffee, maybe I should just stay off coffee. So I kind of been off since, and I'm drinking tea, which I like tea, but I don't like it as much as coffee. So I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to slip up and get back on coffee at some point, but I'm going to try to go as long as I can to not do that. So I don't know. Days are just not as enjoyable anymore. I can't have coffee. I can't have lemon water. Snapping at everybody. No, I think it's for the good. It is for the good. And I just want to get to a point where every once in a while, if I want to have a little cup of coffee, I can. But I just don't do it every day, and I don't have 5 cups a day. That's not cool. But tea, is good, and I'm getting into the flavor of tea a little bit, and it still doesn't have the zing, doesn't have the boost, doesn't have the oomph of coffee. So I'm here today with my peppermint tea. And it's National Poetry Month. I didn't realize this. I've been getting this urge to write poetry recently. It's just really, because I do that semi-regularly, I would say. And it's usually just urges. I start feeling like I want to write poetry, and then I'll start doing it. It's almost obsession. I just start writing a lot. So I've been feeling that recently, and then I realized it was National Poetry Month. So I'm just wondering if there was this vibe in the air, maybe a poetry vibe. Since it is that, and people thinking about it, maybe it just kind of it's in the air. I started thinking about it. So I wanted to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to read one of my poems on the podcast. A little nervous. I've never read this out loud. But I like this poem. It's a little extensive, a little long, based on actual, I would say a combination of experiences, a lot of different experiences put together into one experience. That's one of the great things you can do about poetry. So I'm going to read this, and it's about my hometown, Knoxville. So it's called Knoxville Summer 1985. Okay. I got to find a little place to put up my middle thing here. Okay, so I can read. I'm not prepared for that. I didn't have a little table. All right, we'll make this work. Okay, here we go. Knoxville, summer 1985. Walking down Highland and 13th to a sudden dead end. Sun-blistered asphalt vaporizing generations of mystery fluids floating in the air like jungle breath. I have expectations of finding something here, but I don't know what. An experience, maybe. An answer, possibly. Art? Surrounded by clapboard houses and sweaters of kudzu, I walk the middle of the street with the swagger of youth in cheap shoes. An audience of thrift store furniture on front porches applaud random Tibetan prayer flags, giving needed shade to the molding Bud Light coolers. And I see her there. That one girl reading on her porch. She doesn't look up. I don't say hello. The daily routine of passing strangers. But I turn and chance a few steps down her walkway. I offer my outstretched hand. She looks up, places her moist fingers on my palm, and unfolds herself from her musty armchair, the cushions bleeding foam onto the old wood porch. I spin her around like a princess carousel, then pull her toward me, my hand in the small of her back. She presses her cheek to my chest, and I smell her coconut hair for seconds of eternity. We sway to distant music from Cumberland Avenue, but do not speak. We both know too well what we would say. Emotionally charged laments about life as a 20-something, school, poverty, over-controlling parents. Why don't they understand? Sometimes we aren't sure we will survive, or that we even want to. Why is the world so confusing, pointless, sweaty? Like this moment. This moment I'll never forget, but the whine on her breath tells me she will by morning. Her mouth parts for a whispered word, but I quickly raise my hand. Shh, I say. I'm going to get towed. I touch her lips softly with mine, that awkward kiss of two people who just met on a sweltering summer day and already have regrets. Dewy brown eyes behind her glasses tell me we are eating supper for the 6,205th time in Farragut, visiting our daughter in college, weeping at the birth of our third grandchild, purchasing side-by-side cemetery plots. She is small and pretty, and I'm certain her heart belongs to someone else. While I borrowed it for a moment, I'm too young and too clumsy to hold it longer than an hour, a year at most. I bow and kiss her wrist. She returns to her book, never looking back to me. As I retreat to the safety of the sidewalk, I step in gum. Dirty fluorescent pink strings stretch from my shoe like cruel party streamers from a canceled wedding. I walk a block and see the city panorama in gold mirrors. There's my own life in a single solitary square of the sun sphere. It looks down upon me like a wise yet emotionally unavailable Appalachian grandfather. With tobacco in cheek, it says to me with a muffled drawl, there is a world of porches, there is a world of books. Life is a dance for the ones with expectations and the one who constantly looks. There it is. Okay, I did it. I read it out loud. What do you think? Is it all right? It's a very personal poem. It means a lot to me at that time period, 1985, what I was going through and what my city, I guess, was going through. Kind of just some weird memories and things in my head. Yeah? Is it okay? It's one of the longest poems I've written, and I've never read it out loud. So first time right there. So here's the thing. I'm totally willing. This is National Poetry Month. I'm totally willing for the rest of the month to read some of your poems. If you would like to send them to me, just email them. Email the poems. and I will read them on the podcast. Just maybe, put a little message that you recognize that I have the right to read your poems on the podcast. And they'll be distributed to everyone. Okay? Or also, you could do it. You could read your own poem. Just call the listener line 678-348-0008, and you can read your own poems, and I'll put it on the podcast. So that's just for National Poetry Month. We'll kind of celebrate together. That was weird, reading my own poems. I don't usually read them out loud. Okay. Well, speaking of my hometown, I was thinking about this recently. Speaking of my hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee. Tennessee just did some weird crap. Everybody's doing weird crap right now for politics. I want to say I don't understand. I do understand it. There's this weird thing that, you used to, you used to want to try to appeal to everyone. You wanted to try to when you were elected to a certain from a certain district or a certain state or a certain area, you wanted to serve all of the people in that area. And somewhere I kind of figured that it was around the Bush era. That's kind of what I was thinking. That started going away, and it became like us against them. So no longer we want to represent everybody or as many people as we can. We just want to represent our little group. And it doesn't matter if, in fact, we want to try to make it as difficult, and we want to insult the other people. We want to bring them down. We want to step on them as much as possible. This is from all sides of the political spectrum, I feel like. There's no more compromise in politics. There's no more trying to serve everyone. I can remember when I was growing up, that several issues happened throughout my life that my dad sometimes or someone else in my family had to reach out to one of the congressmen, and it might have been someone we didn't even vote for, but that congressman would like get in touch with the right people to make things happen or try to help our voice be heard, because that's what they were voted in there for. But now it's not that. You have to be in the little clique. You have to be, and the smaller the better. And so, and I'm not going to do much political commentary, but you may have heard it made national news, I guess, last week. The state of Tennessee excommunicated 3 people. They deleted them. They got rid of them. Or they threatened, let's say, to do that. They actually got rid of 2. They dumped 2. One of them, I think, survived by 1 vote. And then yesterday, one of the people was voted back in by his area. They said, we voted him in, we want him in, he's back. So they voted him back in instead of getting someone else. But the same guy. Now, and I've heard the last person might get the same treatment. But these 3 people were protesting. Now, in the state of Tennessee, the House, the government is Republican controlled. It's a Republican majority. And all 3 of these people were Democrats. They had been trying to comment on the shooting that happened in Nashville. And it's gun control, and it's an issue that is very volatile. People don't want to talk about it, even though we need to talk about it. People getting killed. Gun thing yesterday in Louisville. People killed. There's no easy solutions. It's just talking about it's not going to solve the issue, but it's a start. We can't, if we're not going to talk about it, we're not ever going to solve it. So at least we can make some progress with discussions. And I feel like that should be going on. They just want to shut it down. So apparently these 3 felt like they didn't have a voice, and so they protested. And the government, Republican-led government, decided to punish them by dumping them. Just get rid of them. Protest, You're gone, especially if it's one of our favorite issues. So it's like, I don't know. There are commentaries that I could make. There are things I could say about it, but I'm not going to. What I'm interested in, though, is the fact that I've been living in Georgia for almost 10 years, but I still feel like that's my state. That's my people. That's, but what is that? Why do we grab on to stuff like that? I've thought about that so many times, when I did the year in a kilt, and then I did the life in a kilt. And so for a couple of years, 3 years maybe, my life was very kilt-centric. And the year in the kilt, for sure, every freaking day wearing a kilt, you can't not think about it. And it was done really kind of something fun to do, but the essence of it was that I had gotten in touch with my Celtic roots, my Scots-Irish roots, which I wasn't that aware of when I was growing up. I always wanted some kind of cool identity. And then as I started getting older, I realized that I was Scots-Irish, and then I did some research in history, and I found out, wow, this is cool. It's really cool. And then Braveheart came out. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I think we want to belong to something. And so, I had a sense of identity, and I exploited it or had fun with it with the kilt. But we do this. We like to grab onto things. I just feel like that we're always looking for something to add to our little identity basket that we have, that we're creating this, what you call ego, but creating this persona or this life that we call us. And we want to put this. So now I could say I'm a kilt wearer. I'm a Scots-Irish kilt wearer. That's my identity that I put in my little basket. I'm a Tennessean. I came from Tennessee. What is Tennessee? It's just a name somebody gave from a little outline of land. But the land is just land. There's no outlines. It's the same land here that's in Great Britain. There's just a bunch of land that's underwater connecting them. It's all the same. If you go to the border of Tennessee and Georgia, there's no natural dividing line. We all decided this is Tennessee, this is Georgia. Don't cross it. If you do, you got totally different governments, totally different. Taxes are different. It's just like a different land, but it's not a different land. It's the same. And you get the same thing when you go to Europe. The countries, are like states in some ways, because they're all in the same. Well, we got the same thing with Mexico and Canada, but in Europe, there's so many of them, so many countries. You cross line, and it's like a totally different place. Totally different place. I was in Great Britain. I was in England here, and now I'm in Ireland. Now I'm in Ireland here. Whoops! Now I'm in Spain. I'm in Spain now. Now Portugal. But all you are doing is walking on land. You're not going anywhere different. You're not you're in the same place. But everything that we choose for ourselves is just that. It's all an illusion. It's all even just the outlines of human beings that we give names to. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Roy. Hey, Brenda. We're just little beings that got out in birth. That was my birth sound. And then we're just little shapes, little forms, forms of life that our parents decided that they were going to call Cody or Jennifer. And then that becomes we're We're Jennifer, the life form. And then as we go, we fall and we scar our knee, and that becomes us. This happened when I was 2. Right here. See this thing right here? That happened to me when I was 2. It just happened. It didn't happen to you. It was back in, it seems like last month, but it's been a little long ago. Last October, I was in Wynne, Arkansas, doing a mural for a pediatric facility. And I just saw where Wynne got basically wiped off the map by a tornado. That whole community, I saw drone footage. It's amazing. It's just gone. It was standing now. Most of it is not. And just the things that we hold on to, the things that we think are ours. I saw pictures of houses. It's just like you can't even pick out anything that's from one house and another house. It's all one huge, big junk pile. Everybody's stuff is mixed together. All the valuable things that you've held on to your whole life. It's tossed around. It's like a big salad, a big valuable salad. And now nothing's valuable. No one, you go in and you might find some photos. You want to look around for trophies. You want to see if you can find, mementos that really meant something to you. But the bookshelf that your TV was on, it's a scrap pile. No one wants that. It's like, who cares? It's gone. Got that at Target years ago. It's just like your value changes. If someone came in and stole it, if someone came in and stole your television, you'd shoot them or club them or call the cops or something. But tornado throws your TV on a pile and you're just like, okay, I can get another one. It's not that big of a deal. But it's that. All of our valuables, everything, it's all an illusion. And we all play the game. We all play the illusion of game. And we all like to attach these illusions to us as to who we are. I'm trying to figure out in my own life what's real and what's not. What have I grabbed onto that's not really me? Even relationships. This is kind of a hard one because if you're with someone, even if you're like married to someone, what does that mean? You're married to someone. It just means you got in front of people and kissed. Then you got a piece of paper. You're still the same two people. It's an illusion we created in our society, human beings, but we buy into it. That's us. We're married. I have a wife. My wife has a husband. I can be a husband now. But what happens when something happens to that? Someone cheats, someone moves out, someone gets a divorce, someone dies. That relationship is no longer around. What happened? Nothing happened. Life happened. Just like a tornado. The illusion was broken. The little bubble of illusion was broken. I'm not trying to be depressing here. All I'm trying to do is just say there are things that are real and there are things that are not real. And the things that are not real, sometimes we hang on to tighter than the things that are real. And when those things that are not real disappear, as they're going to, because they have to, they're not real. They're going to, like a puff of smoke, they're going to just disappear. Your body is one of those things. Your body that was chubby when you were 6 months, maybe still chubby when you were 6 years, but went through all, at one point you had a pretty good body, pretty tight, good looking young body. And then you get 50s and 60s, it all starts falling, and you get 70s and 80s, it starts puckering, wrinkling, and then one day it's just gone. It died. It's like, no more. I can't do it again. I can't get up anymore. That's all. Boom. Gone. That person, now Jennifer, Rick, is gone. What happened to him? Were they ever here? I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. What am I holding on to that's not real? What am I trying to make a personality trait? I'm trying to make an identity of myself for that isn't real. And what I find out is most of the stuff that I grab on, most of the stuff that I have in my life, even like jobs, I'm an artist, but yet if my art job, if my gallery just disappears, am I still an artist? If I lose my eyesight and I can't paint or draw anymore, am I still an artist? if I'm a musician and I get Parkinson's and I can't play my guitar or my hand falls off or whatever, where did that go? Anyway, something to think about. What I've been thinking about recently. I'm very interested in the whole. I have a pride, Tennessee pride. That's where I came from. That's my people. And then I just realized, if I had my eyes closed, I could not tell you if I was in Tennessee or North Carolina. I really couldn't. They're so similar at times. North Carolina is one of the most beautiful states in the country. And Tennessee up in parts, same thing. And I've been in Pennsylvania in areas where it's gorgeous. I don't know. I could tell you Pennsylvania and North Carolina. But somehow those mean a lot to us. Those little dividing lines, the people, mean a lot to us. There's a big difference in Canadians and Mexicans, we think. We could tell you the Koreans and the Italians, there's a big difference there. Why? One was over here, one is over here. We all have physical differences. We're just life forms. We're the same life forms. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to stop doing it, though. I still like being in Tennessee. I resisted that. It's probably the one thing that I hated about moving to Georgia is I had to stop saying that I'm a Tennessean. And I don't feel like a Georgian, but I don't know what a Georgian feels like. I just live in Georgia. But what does a Tennessean feel like? I mean, I grew up in Tennessee. And if I go back to Tennessee now, if I go to Knoxville, I can't get around. It's changed so much, but I still feel like it's mine. I don't know. Something to think about. Why do we do it? Why do we make these invisible, weird illusions? Try to make them real. All right. Podcasts. They're illusions, man. It's just me sitting here at a microphone talking. Then I put it out. You listen to it. And it becomes a thing. It's just this weird little thing that happens. But I like this interaction. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I feel like I know you. I feel like there's somebody else. I know a few people who do listen, and I feel like you're my friends. Even if I haven't even met you before, I feel like you're my friend. We live in a world that's mostly illusion. And is it worth dying for? Is it really worth dying for these illusions? I don't think so. I feel like I think the real things in life, I want to say the real things in life are worth dying for, but I don't think the real things in life you have to die for. Right? Look me up on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page, apocalyptic Facebook page. Get on there, interact. And email rick@apocalyptic.com. Send me email. Send me your poetry. I read it. I'll make, I love poetry, and I'd like to put it out to everybody, see what they think. Or call in 678-348-0008. As always, you can text that same line. And do your poems. Anything else you want to do? Comment on my poem. What did you think? It was crappy? Did you like it? What? I don't know. Tell me what you think. That's it. I'm going to say goodbye now. And I'll try to stay on schedule as much as possible. I swear, I really will. I can't promise. I need some coffee. Dang.